Welcome back, sacred soul of Scorpio. I am Selena, and if these words have found their way to you today, trust that this message is a divine appointment. The universe is not offering you another prediction, it's offering you a reckoning. A moment of radical honesty and soul-deep transformation. May 28th, 2025 is not an ordinary day for you. It is a turning point, one that begins quietly, but leads to a permanent inner shift. You may not see the signs at first, not in flashing lights or loud announcements, but in the subtle tension beneath your skin, the sudden clarity in your thoughts, the way a certain conversation lingers longer than usual. These are not coincidences. They are cosmic whispers nudging you toward the truth you've been circling for far too long. Today, Scorpio, the universe invites you to pause, not to retreat in fear, but to anchor yourself before the next wave arrives. This moment is sacred. The silence you feel is not emptiness, it's the space being cleared for your next evolution. Something old is crumbling, a story you once believed, a role you've outgrown, a pattern that no longer fits the soul you've become. And while the mind may resist, your spirit already knows there is no going back. You are being asked to choose not between right or wrong, but between staying safe and becoming whole. This is the quiet revolution. This is the inner exodus that precedes every true transformation. So take a breath, Scorpio. Not just to inhale air, but to exhale the weight of what no longer serves you. Because from this breath forward, your story changes. And in that stillness, we begin. Scorpio, today's energies don't simply nudge you towards change. They pull you into the depths of your own becoming. You are not standing at the edge of something minor. You are standing before the mirror of your own evolution. And what you see reflected back is a truth you've long sensed, but kept buried beneath duty, protection, or fear. It could be a realization about a relationship that has silently expired, a life path that no longer resonates with your soul's rhythm, or a deeper calling that you've postponed in favor of stability. Whatever it is, it's rising now, not to punish, but to purify. There is a restlessness within you. Isn't there? A strange ache in the heart or heaviness in the chest that logic can't quite explain. It's as if your soul is gently but firmly knocking on the door. You've tried to keep closed. You may feel on edge, sensitive to others' words, or find yourself withdrawing into stillness without knowing exactly why. These sensations are not random. They are sacred signals that you are undergoing a shedding, not of something external, but of a self you've outgrown. And this isn't about blame. It's about evolution. The old version of you served its purpose, but it cannot carry you into what's next. The planetary forces now activate your 8th house, the seat of death and rebirth, of ancestral karma, of shared power and soul-deep intimacy. This is the realm where facades dissolve, and only what is emotionally and spiritually authentic remains. If you feel emotionally raw today, it's because the armor you once wore to survive is finally too heavy to carry. You don't need to defend yourself anymore. You don't need to over-explain, overgive, or override your own instincts to keep others comfortable. The liberation you crave is waiting behind your willingness to let go. And so this is not a day for action in the traditional sense. It is a day for sacred stillness, for walking barefoot in the truths you've been avoiding, for sitting with discomfort not as punishment, but as an invitation. It's a day to pull back from the noise, from social media, from the opinions of those who don't live inside your skin. It's a time to cancel the performance and return to your presence. Because the universe is not asking you to be anything other than what you already are. Beneath the masks, powerful, perceptive, intuitive, and aligned with forces most people don't even realize are real. You are not who you were a year ago, not even who you were a month ago. And that's a beautiful thing. Let yourself rise not through force, but through surrender. Let what no longer fits fall away, not in bitterness, but in blessing. Because once the crumbling is done, what remains will be holy. Financially, the energy surrounding you on May 28th is deeply transformational. The spotlight is cast on your 8th house, the astrological realm of shared resources, inheritances, debts, power dynamics, and soul-aligned wealth. This isn't just about money. It's about your relationship with receiving with trust, with value, and most importantly, with your own worth. Something old, a job, an income stream, a financial dependency, or even an outdated belief about survival is dissolving. And while this may feel unsettling, it is divinely aligned. If you felt disconnected from your work, uninspired by the way you earn, or emotionally drained by obligations that no longer resonate, know that it isn't failure. It's the soul's way of pulling your energy back from the things that are no longer meant to carry you forward. When something begins to fall apart in your material world, it's often because your spirit has already moved on. The universe, through cosmic timing, is simply realigning your outer reality to match your inner evolution. Expect the unexpected. A conversation, a message, or an invitation may arrive out of nowhere, seemingly small at first, but carrying the spark of long-term abundance. With the Sun in Gemini and Mercury freshly, direct ideas move fast, and hidden opportunities can suddenly become visible. Pay close attention to synchronicities, especially those that make your heart beat faster in the best way. These aren't random. These are soul cues. If something lights you up from the inside, it's not fantasy, it's guidance. This is not the time to chase safety. It's the time to ask, am I building my life around what nourishes me or what depletes me? Because true prosperity, the kind that lasts, is born from alignment, not sacrifice. The moment you stop investing energy in what dishonors your truth space is made for wealth to enter through channels that feel both sacred and sustainable. Affirmation for today. I am aligned with abundance that honors my soul's truth. I release all fear-based ties to money and step boldly into divine provision. Scorpio, love today is not sweet or soft. It is catalytic. The kind of love that doesn't just hold your hand, but holds a mirror. The planetary landscape is activating your most intimate zones of bonding and transformation, making this a day when emotional truths rise to the surface uninvited but necessary. Whether you're in a relationship or walking the solitary path, this is a time of reckoning, not with your partner, but with yourself. If you're in a relationship, subtle tensions may suddenly become too loud to ignore. Not because something has gone wrong, but because your soul is no longer willing to remain in patterns that feel emotionally unsafe, dishonest, or disconnected. You may realize you've been performing emotional labor without reciprocation, or that the person you love is growing in a direction that no longer meets you where you are. This is not about blame. This is about alignment. And if you feel a quiet sadness today, know that it comes not from failure, but from your heart finally telling the truth. For those who are single today might feel heavy with memory. You could feel the ghost of someone who once mattered deeply, not necessarily because they're returning, but because your soul is revisiting unfinished lessons. There is an opportunity here to release the energetic residue of an old attachment, not through resentment, but through radical forgiveness. Not for them, but for your own freedom. The cosmos is also quietly opening the doorway to a new connection, one that may not look ideal on the surface, but feels instantly karmic. If someone enters your sphere today who triggers something deep mysterious or oddly familiar, don't dismiss it. This is a soul mirror, a catalyst, possibly even a preview of what love can feel like when it's rooted in emotional honesty rather than performance. Love today is about vulnerability, not validation. It's about being seen raw, unfiltered, and whole. The more you lean into your truth, the more the right connection, or the right version of your current connection, will rise to meet you. Scorpio. When it comes to your work and your soul's mission today, marks a subtle but pivotal turning point. The cosmic winds are shifting, and while the outer changes may not yet be visible, the inner redirection has already begun. The sun in Gemini is illuminating your house of deep transformation, inviting you to ask the question most people avoid. Am I creating or am I surviving? For too long, you may have been operating from a space of necessity, doing what needed to be done, fulfilling roles that were expected, delivering results to maintain stability. But underneath the surface, your spirit has been restless. Perhaps you felt bored in a job that once excited you, or hesitant about a path you used to feel so certain about. That's not failure. That's evolution. Your soul is outgrowing systems of work that no longer reflect your power, your insight, or your calling. This is a time when purpose whispers not through grand events, but through small stirrings, a vision that keeps revisiting you, an idea that refuses to die, a hidden desire to speak, teach, build, or lead in a way that feels more you than anything you've done before. Don't ignore these nudges. They are the first signs of a vocational rebirth. You are being gently guided to step out of performance and into authenticity, not just in what you do, but in why you do it. If you've been considering a shift in direction, in identity, or even in creative expression, the energy now supports clarity. Mercury's movement frees up blocked thoughts, and you may find yourself suddenly able to articulate a dream you've never dared to name aloud. Be open to networking, collaboration, or learning something new. The connections you make now could point the way to long-term fulfillment, especially if they come from a place of shared values and mutual empowerment. Remember, Scorpio, your gift is not just in what you create, but in the depth you bring to it. You are not meant to build a career that impresses others, but empties you. You are meant to do work that transforms first you, then the world. Scorpio. Today, your physical body is acting as a sacred messenger, translating what your soul is feeling into sensations you can no longer ignore. You may notice fatigue that doesn't match your schedule, a sudden heaviness in the chest, or a strange emotional pressure just beneath the surface. This isn't just stress, it's spiritual detox. Your nervous system is processing more than what's happening in your outer world. It's transmuting the emotional weight you've carried in silence. The current astrology activates your deeper waters, and with that comes a powerful invitation to treat your body as an ally in your transformation, not just a vessel for performance. If you've been overriding your body's signals in order to push through today, you may find your system quietly demanding rest, nourishment, or solitude. Listen. What seems like weakness is actually sacred intelligence. Your body knows what your mind hasn't fully accepted. You're not meant to carry this alone. This is an ideal moment to slow down and tend to your emotional hygiene. Practices like grounding breathwork, gentle movement, digital fasting, or time in nature will help clear the psychic residue that's been weighing you down. Your emotional resilience is strong, but even the strongest need space to release. Cry if you need to. Journal without censorship. Exhale the tension. Healing isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's simply about allowing yourself to feel without guilt or shame. You may also notice an increase in intuitive downloads or vivid dreams. These are not random. Your body and your spirit are syncing, preparing you for a new chapter that demands your full presence. Protect your energy not from paranoia, but from discernment. Limit exposure to chaotic environments or people who drain you with drama. Today is a day to retreat inward, not to escape, but to regenerate. Affirmation for wellness. My body is sacred. My rest is revolutionary. I release what no longer supports my healing, and I trust the wisdom within me. Scorpio. Your connections with family and close friends may feel particularly charged today, not in a chaotic way, but in a way that reveals hidden emotions, unspoken truths, and long-standing dynamics that are no longer sustainable. The emotional atmosphere around you is ripe for honesty. But with honesty often comes disruption. And while that may sound intense, remember, disruption can be healing when it leads to clarity. There may be a conversation that opens an old wound, or perhaps someone reaches out after a period of distance ready to speak a truth they once avoided. Whether you're the one initiating the dialogue or receiving it, your ability to hold space without collapsing into old patterns will determine the direction this connection evolves. Choose emotional responsibility, not reactivity. Choose truth, not appeasement. If you've been feeling emotionally unsupported or misunderstood within your family system, this is the day to redefine boundaries, not as walls, but as invitations for healthier relating. You are not obligated to overextend yourself for the sake of peace. Real peace is not born from silence. It is born from mutual respect. At the same time, there is potential for powerful reconnection. The astrology suggests that once masks fall away, a softer kind of love can rise, one that doesn't demand performance but honors presence. If you're able to open your heart with discernment, not defensiveness, someone you love may surprise you with their willingness to meet you halfway. This is also a powerful time to lean on chosen family, the people who see and support your soul, even if they aren't bound to you by blood. Call your safe person. Reach out to the one who always knows how to listen without fixing. Healing doesn't have to be a solo act. Lucky color. Deep indigo. This color mirrors the intensity of your intuition and the wisdom of your emotional depth. Wear or surround yourself with this hue today to enhance clarity, protect your energetic boundaries, and amplify inner strength. Lucky numbers 7, 19, 24, 36, 50. 88. These numbers may appear throughout your day in timestamps, receipts, or license plates as cosmic confirmations that you are on the right path. Stay open. Scorpio today is not here to test you. It is here to awaken you, to remind you of who you've become, to release you from old roles, old wounds, and old stories that were never meant to follow you this far. You are standing in sacred territory now, the space between endings and beginnings. And while it may feel quiet, it is not empty. Let what falls fall. Let what stays stay. You do not need to fix, chase, or prove. You only need to honor the truth rising in your body and soul. And if no one else says it to you today, I will. I see your strength. I see your softness. I see your sacred becoming. I'll meet you here again soon when the stars have more to say. Until then, protect your peace and walk with truth.